Thanks, everybody. Welcome to the 3820 podcast. I'm Rich G. Today, with a good friend of mine again. Seems like we've been doing this lately, hitting up all my good friends coming onto the podcast, which is a good thing. And today I'm here with Isaac Vargas. He's a really good friend of mine, known him for over 10 years. Really good dude. And today we're going to sit down. We're just going to talk about how we met and, what he's doing in the industry today and how we got there. So what's going on, Isaac?
Nothing much, man. Just here sipping on some good Azteca beer.
Yeah, hey, dude. Sponsors. Sponsors of the podcast. Cerveza Azteca. You got to go out and get some of that. CervezaAzteca.com. Follow them on all social medias. All that will be in the show notes. You know how it goes. But Cerveza Azteca is probably one of the best beers I've had in a long time. You know,
dude. When you told me about it, I was like, I'm just gonna go check it out.
Just hook up the homies.
Yeah, I was like,
see what you're talking about.
It comes in a 4-pack, so I don't gotta get all crazy, get a 30 of it or nothing. But damn, dude. I killed that 4-pack.
Really?
Yeah.
It go down like I had Omar on here the other day, and he said it's dangerous because it goes down very smooth.
Too smooth.
Yeah.
I finished mine.
I know you're already done. I haven't even. I'm like a quarter way done with mine, and he's already done.
It's cracking.
That's good. So what's up, man? How's everything going? And how's the family?
It's good, man.
Yeah.
Family's growing. I'm growing, getting fatter.
I hear you on the same boat.
No, it's good, man. Just got our house.
Nice, congrats.
On the west side of town. So.
Oh shit, Isaac is no longer in the east side. He's not an east sider no more.
The east side, dude.
He's not in the hood. He thinks he's white.
Yeah.
So he's living on the west side.
Yeah, I gotta pronounce my name different.
That's right. It's not Vargas. It's Vargas. Isaac Vargas. So you could buy a pickup truck yet, or since you're over there?
Trying to save
a
up
white
for a
F-150. Put some hay bales on the side.
Power wagon.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I see with all the button ups now on the Wrangler jeans. Yeah, you know what I mean.
All the way to the top.
All the way. Yeah, I hear you. So everything's good, man.
Yeah.
Everything's good. That's good, dude. So let me go into a little bit of how I met Isaac. So for everybody who doesn't know, I used to own a shop in Imperial Valley called Imperial Valley Streetwear, and it was a streetwear shop that we covered, bought. We sold everything from tribal gear, Dice One, Mafioso, 10 Deep. We had some Diamond Supply for a little while. We would sell art supplies like Iron Lac and things like that. Sketchbooks. We did. We also had like Jefe clothing and everybody in there. And I remember one day this kid just rolled up and just came up to the shop and was like, and it was like I think we had just opened and the first day or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't remember what it was, but this guy comes in here and he's just like, hey, where are you guys from? Like, you guys selling all this stuff? I've tribal gear. Like, I don't even know where you guys get that. Like, who allowed you guys to sell that stuff? And but it was funny, So it was just cool because he really was into that. He was an artist, he was a graffiti artist, and so he would start hanging out at the shop more and more, and got to know him really good, and just became like a little staple of one of the many homies that hung out at that shop. So
for sure,
that was a good thing, So
can I say how we met? I remember that day.
Okay, how we met.
So, me and my cousins had been big fans of tribal gear for years, all through high school. Like we were like super into it, into graffiti and all that. So that was like our like the top. Like we were just like, dude, tribal gear is everything. And my cousin's like, hey, some dude came in and said that he's gonna open up a tribal store. And I was like, who the fuck would open up a store here? Like, why? Like, that's not, like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, I thought he was just fucking with me, like, just to, get me happy or something. I was like, nah, dude, it's not going to happen. A couple weeks later, I see a big sign. I see the doors open. I'm like, what? And he's like, dude, that's that tribal store I was telling you about. So I was like, damn, I'm going to go check it out. So I walk in and I see Rich. And I see a guy in there look like he was doing some work on like the AC or something.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. That's right.
And so, and I walk in. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man? This and that. Are you looking for anything in particular? This and that." I'm like, "Oh man, I just wanted to check it out." And then the AC guy, he comes down and he's like, okay, pues, compa, pues, mañana voy a regresar para regalarlo. And I was just like, okay, cool. And he's talking to Rich. And then Rich looks at me. He's like, hey, you speak Spanish? I was like, yeah. What'd he say? I was like, oh, he said he'll be back tomorrow. He's like, all right, cool. Tell him I'll be here like at 10.
Yeah. So Isaac was my translator.
Yeah, so that's how we started off. I was his little translator. But yeah, ever since then, man, we were there every day, like nonstop.
There was some crazy times at that shop, man. There was a lot of fun and a lot of, I like to say that there's a lot of people that came to the shop that probably wouldn't have talked otherwise, that knew of each other and that were cool with each other, but didn't really chop it up until they really started kicking it at the shop.
Yep.
And now they're friends and they really have relationships because of the shop.
Mm-hmm. And there was even people that I did know, but didn't know that close. You know, it was kind of like I saw them every now and then, but once we started kicking it there, I saw them all the time and we became even closer.
Yeah.
You know, Omar definitely being one of them.
Yeah.
Paul, I mean, I've been knowing him since high school. So.
Little Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shouts out to Paul. We need to get him on here and definitely Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Sir needs to come on. And like I was telling Omar, I really want to do one day, maybe we can set it up. We could do a podcast with everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get everybody on there. We could just all shoot the shit and just have like a good time or whatever. But
yeah.
But yeah, no, I really think like the shop really gave me an opportunity to reach out to you guys and to young, because that's how like I came into the game. You know what I mean? And like if you go back and listen to the episode with Fred, and I give Fred a lot of props because he's the ones that instilled that in me, giving back, you know, and I really feel like that was kind of like my calling, you know, was to try to give back and push you guys in a direction that was more needed than you guys were. You know, you guys were all talented in all your own ways, you know what I'm saying? And I think by trying to bring down artists down to like graffiti artists and bringing these things and having events to kind of show you guys that there's other shit you can do with your, you know, with your craft, and that there is people making money doing what you guys just thought you guys were just terrorizing and shit. You know what I mean? And just doodling in your guys' black book. Like there is potentially ways to make money doing what you guys are doing. And I really try to push that with the shop. You know, I really try to get that out there. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, you know, economy's shit. And the shop had to close. But other than that, I mean, I feel like the time we did have was cool. You know what I mean? There was nothing. I feel like we'll never take that shit back. Like
no regrets.
None. Really none, because it was sad, bittersweet to let it go. But I mean, I met a lot of people, a lot of good people, a lot of good friends out of it. And, you know, and I feel like
there was a lot of game that I picked up there. It was crazy. You were the first person that put me on the Instagram.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Shout out to Instagram. Y'all better hook me up.
Instagram, plug.
Y'all better send me a check.
I remember we were like hard on Facebook, and then Rich comes and he's like, yeah, my homie told me about this new social media thing called Instagram. You guys got to get on it. And we're like, what, dude? Like, nah, dude, Facebook's like where it's at, bro.
I'm like, nah, Facebook is like MySpace, bro. You got that shit. Your grandma's on that, bro.
Yeah, Rich is like, nah, dude, this is going to be the shit. I'm telling you. And he was fucking right.
Yeah. Dude, I knew it, man. Once I seen that shit, you could post pictures and you can fucking put up shit. I was like, this is going to change the world.
That was early on, like with the shitty filters. And
yeah.
I mean,
and you only I have to have an iPhone. You couldn't even do what any other, no one else was.
Oh, that, yeah. And that was the thing, too.
I
mean, I know it's going to sound crazy, but you were the person that pushed me to get an iPhone.
Yeah, dude. That's what yeah, dude. Seriously.
Rich is like before his time.
For what time? But time traveler.
Yeah, Rich came back. He had the almanac.
That's right. I was in my back pocket. Shit, I wish, man, I'd be able to make some bets and come up on some shit.
I thought I was all cool with my Android.
I was like, honey,
here's that iPhone 5, son.
Dude, you got to get on this. You're missing out. Yeah. No, that was the shit. That was the shit. And then back then, too, it was really cool because you could see where it was going to go. You know what I mean? You can see the potential of what you can do with it. And honestly, with that and creating, it kind of sucked because at the time that it came out, if it would have been, I don't know, if I would open my shop 5 years later, maybe the shop wouldn't have hit, but Instagram would have been more far along, and I think it could have helped out the shop 10 times more than
Big time.
because then more people would, they open it up to Android phones and all that, so then you were able to use it more as a marketing tool. And at that time, I was only marketing on it just to iPhones, you know what I mean, which kind of sucks. So that's why I was telling everybody about it, was because that was part of my flyers. That was the way that I was getting advertisement out there.
Apple and Instagram definitely owe you a check.
Dude, on the real. Motherfuckers need to cut me a check now.
Dude, like, I'll vouch for that.
Hell yeah, you got to get yourself, how many sales I made for those motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Shit, they need to cut me in. Yeah, but, nah, man, I mean, to see you from then to now is really cool, man, because I remember you coming in and you were drawing and stuff, and you didn't really know what you were. I think you were already just barely graduated.
Yeah, just graduated.
Just graduated from high school, and you really didn't know you were going to IVC out here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, dude, you freaking draw, you do this, you need to get into graphic design.
Yeah.
And no.
Another thing you put me on, dude.
I ain't gonna get into. I'm like, bro, there's signs everywhere. Take your ass outside. There's signs everywhere. People are giving out flyers. There's always going to be work for that. Mm-hmm. And I really think you need to freaking look into that shit. You know what I mean? And luckily you did.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And went to school. So how was the transition from you going to, or even deciding to go that route? Because, I mean, you got a career in that now.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a little bit. But you went to school in San Diego, so that's the next city over from us. That's the bigger city from us. But, well, I mean, from the valley, you know what I'm saying? So, to make that move to come out to San Diego to actually pursue your career in graphic design, how did that even come about? Like, how did you go about finding out what school you're going to go to? What was the best fit? Because there's plenty of schools that do graphic design. Mm-hmm. So what was the process you went through for that?
So, yeah, I mean, initially, like, I had no computer skills, like, at all. Like, I was, like, surfing the web, burning CDs, like, that was it. Like, I wasn't, like, I didn't know. So that's what always, like, kept me from it. Because when I was a junior in high school, I did a summer program in San Francisco for fine art. So, I was always into painting, drawing, stuff like that, but just more of my own style. Like, I didn't have a particular style, or I just, like, whatever I felt, I just started painting. And they actually offered me classes there, but I was just like, nah, like, I don't know about computers. I don't want to mess with that. And again, I think, kind of going back to what you were talking about, like, you kind of brought, you opened the doors, honestly, for us just to get a look of what was out there, because I didn't know. Like, we live in a small town. Like, I was trying to, like, move up in the ranks at Walmart. Like, that was like, dude, I'm serious, bro. Like, I went to, like, so many interviews at Walmart. And you know what's crazy though? One day I was super, like, I was broke. I didn't have shit. So I went to Walmart. I bought a shirt, pants, and shoes to go interview at Walmart. I went home, put it on very carefully. I fucking went, did the interview, went home, boxed that shit back up, and returned it.
Oh, fuck.
Like, it was crazy. Bro. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, So that was just my mindset, just super, closed-minded. And, you, like, just showed us that there was, like, hey, there's over that mountain over there, there's other shit going on, dude. Like, did you know that you can actually do something with that? So that was it. I mean, you definitely have a big part in my, move to San Diego, you helped me get my first, like, internship.
Right.
I mean, it's like, I do definitely owe a lot to you, I can't help you financially right now, but at some point in time, at some point in time, I got to break you off something, once I,
your friendship is all I need, bro.
Yeah, but real talk, like, you definitely, like, helped push us into that, the direction that we needed to be in, because we were all just kids, just come to the shop, chop it up, and we,
Yeah.
and you were just like, dude, you guys got to do something with your time, you guys can't just be drawing around on napkins and, you know, um, so yeah, so I looked into schools and I was just like, because again, it was all new to me, so I didn't even know. I was literally like Googling graphic design school, like I didn't know like of anything, and so the Art Institute came up first. Of course, they did some good digital marketing.
Right. Constant contact.
Yeah. And so I checked it out and I was just like, this is cool. They have initially I was actually going to go to Riverside because my mom was she was in Indio. So that's it was only like a 40-minute drive or so. So that's where I was thinking about. But then, my girlfriend, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, she had just moved to San Diego with her grandparents. And, so I was like, let me check out the San Diego one. And actually, it was a better choice because the San Diego one had a bigger graphic design department. The Riverside, they focused more on culinary. So they were just kind of getting their foot into the graphic design. So kind of made that move, went to I think an open house. I don't know if that's what they call it. Went to go check it out. It was super cool. School and everything. We're walking around and like, it just felt like a design school, And, so yeah, my mom, she just kind of like, she went with me and she was just like, is this what you want to do? And I was like, yeah, and she was just like, there ain't no turning back, and I was like, all right. So she, helped me out with loans and everything, and we got that process started. And, yeah, started off. Mark,
Yeah.
edit.
Mark, edit that out.
So yeah, signed all the papers, did everything, and it was tough at first. I didn't want to do it. I was just like, you know what, like, nah, this is a mistake. I'm just gonna go to IBC and just get a nursing degree or something. I was just like, dude, like, this is, and it's funny because like all these other things that are so simple just seemed like better choice, but I was just like, I just couldn't do it. I was just like, you know what, like, nah, I've been taking the easy route too long, So I moved out to San Diego, 2013, or 2012. I think 2012, and started school. And so, again, started from the bottom. I was broke. I was just like, I got to figure out something. And so, Rich helped me out with the internship at Tribal.
Yeah.
Got in touch with Rue. Shout out to DJ Rue. Hit me up, puto. And that guy too, man. That guy, I learned a lot from him. And it's funny, a lot that I learned from him, like at the time, I was just like in through one ear, out the other. Like, I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
as far as graphic design, like I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. But now I'm like, damn, hotkeys. Like he would always tell me about hotkeys, and I'm just like, nah, dude, I like clicking up here, going down, clicking there, then going to the next tab. And he's like, hey, bro, you got to get with these hotkeys, man. It'll save you so much time. And so, so yeah, that was the, in a nutshell, how I got out to San Diego, from the Valley, small town.
So with the internship at Tribal, you learned a lot there.
Definitely.
With the game and stuff and how stuff works, and I think a lot of it too is, when you were saying like people were telling you stuff and is in one ear out the other. I don't even think that you didn't know. I just think you were young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think at times we at young ages we think we know. We kind of get a piece of what we think it is, and we draw a conclusion on what the rest of it's going to be. And so we just kind of say, yeah, I already fucking know what I'm doing. I already know. I'm already there. I already know what I'm doing.
For sure.
And then when we get older, we're like, well, fuck,
Yeah.
like,
oh, yeah. It's
really,
the cliche thing,
Yeah, it is. And then we all go through that,
For sure.
It's actually just the growing pains, in our life, and I think with going, how ironic is that you were in this town focused in on tribal gear and how that was the pinnacle of what you guys thought was the shit. And then fast forward 2-3 years later, 4 years later, you're actually working in the warehouse.
Yeah.
Where all this shit that you would buy and see is happening right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And shout out to Bobby, and all them for, for having a dope ass product that they do, and you know what I mean, and staying true to their shit since 1989.
Yeah.
And but there's nothing like getting tossed into the fire. You know what I mean? Like that really shows you and shapes you as a man. There's gonna be times where you're always gonna be like, "Fuck, man, I shouldn't open my mouth." I feel like a dipshit, and you think like, "Man, everybody's gonna remember that," and then they don't. But you need those times. We need those as growing men. We need those times where we put our foot in our mouth. We need those times where we get someone checks our ass, because we need to know that those are the growing. Those are the pinnacle parts in our life.
Yeah,
where we put this little pin in our life. Like, I remember that changed me from here to there. You know what I mean? And everybody has those moments.
And I think us and everyone else that used to hang out at at the shop, that's what we got from you. Was like you didn't take no shit from nobody, dude. Like we don't take no shit from nobody. Like we would go in there like talking about our little 18-year-old problems, and you were just like, dude, shut the fuck up and do something. Like, yeah, when we just like, we thought we can go there and like vent to you, and you were like, fuck no, dude. Like, you gotta do something. Like, you can't just sit here and be like, coming here to get something from me. Like, I'm gonna tell you how it is. And honestly, we needed that.
Yeah, and that's what we all need. And I knew that just because that's what I was. You know what I'm saying? And like, luckily, I had, the Freds, the Hobbs, the Roos, the, you know what I'm saying, the Joskis, all these guys in my life that, and you don't even know this, but like DJ Roo and my boy Hav came out to Brawley before we even bought that, before I even rented that spot. There was 2 spots we were looking at. You know what I mean? They came down here out of their own time, all the way down from Dago, came down here to check that out. And to look in El Centro, to look into Brawley, to see which was the best for me to do. And those are my dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, those guys had a really big part in what I did.
For sure.
Rue laying out the business cards and the flyers, like, there was something we all knew we needed. There was a way that we were going to strategically create this market for us. You know what I mean? And
honestly, we didn't. This city did not deserve that shop. Honestly, like, I mean, everything was just so well done. It used to be my aunt's. Your shop used to be my aunt's shop.
Yeah.
And I was like I walked in there and like you did this whole like design thing, put up the for the t-shirts, put up the cases and this, and like everything was done right. Like it was like the closest thing to a boutique that Brawley ever had.
And that's honestly what we were going for. And we were going for the fact, because our square foot was so small, our footprint was so small in that shop. I think we were like 200 square feet.
Yeah.
So I think it was like, and then we had a little room in the back, the bathroom in the back, you know what I mean? But the square footage was so small, we had to strategically design the shop that way, for the fact that we knew, okay, there's 2 ways we could do this. We could do it just throwing clothes in this fucking place and hope fucking people buy it. But then I didn't want to look like just a regular flea market fucking spot that had pretty cool clothes. So what's the next best thing? Well, back then boutiques weren't that popular. Boutiques really weren't out.
You're ahead of your time, dude.
So we were like, what are we going to do? I said, I need to make it to where it looks like you're stepping from outside to some other fucking city. You need to come into this place and you need to be in San Diego. And I was like trying to figure out how that would work. And luckily Rue and Hav both told me the same shit. They said, just design it the way you'd want to design it. You're from San Diego. That's in you already. Like, it's going to come out no matter what. And so I just said, I'm just going to do it the way that I think is cool. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to just design the shop around artwork and put shit where I want it and just see what happens. You know what I mean? And it did. And luckily we accomplished that. We accomplished that different feel and style, because there was tons of people that would come to my shop and be like, dude, just on Instagram and the shit, this fucking place look huge. And it's like this fucking small little boutique, you know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I thought this place was huge. And it's like, nah, but the way that we laid everything out made you feel that way, Because
the way you had it, it was like, it gave people you almost kind of designed it to where people would be able to walk around, and just kind of like, rather than like,
Yeah.
get through those little,
Yeah, the
the
racks.
t-shirt
I didn't
racks,
want
and
nothing on the, because to me I felt like, okay, there's two ways we can run this. I can run this with my you know, everything being on the floor, like racks and shit like that, but then that's gonna eat up the movement in the way
Mhm.
people are going to be able to flow and look. And then I knew if I went to a spot like that, I wouldn't even want to be in there because it's too close to
Yeah.
quarters. I'm not a fucking small guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to be
Mhm.
looking through the freaking rack.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, where's my, what's the other best real estate I have is the walls. You know what I mean? So let's put everything on the walls. Let's build these shelves and things on the walls that can actually hold everything in a right way and hold everything to where I wanted, and make shelvings and fold outs and all this stuff. Even against, and then I had on the other side, I had a window, a big ass window that I was like, well, I'm not doing nothing with this window. That's just lost real estate. So I built a shelf around the fucking window and put a backing behind it and then laid shelves in there. You know what I mean? So every little part of that, those walls were utilized because to me, I felt that was my real estate. You know what I mean? That's just what needed to be done to utilize the space.
And I think too, like when you started, it was right before. I mean, like I said, you were the first person to put me on Instagram, so I feel like that was like right before the turn of like technology, where like social media became like the fucking thing.
Yeah, and it was because we didn't even have a Facebook marketplace at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We didn't even have that. I think Facebook was being used for just like contacting your fucking school friends. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like a way to market. You know what I mean? There was, I'm pretty sure there was, but the pricing probably wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so with Instagram and all that, at that time we really weren't using it to its ability to actually make money. You know what I mean? And then it eventually became that. Because now, I mean, anybody can get on Instagram and create the thing where you could click on it, it tells you a price of it and where's the website to go to. They didn't have none of that.
Super
shit.
simple.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah, but back then we didn't have none of that shit.
No.
So.
But even then, I mean, like I said, like you were saying, like the flyers and everything that Rue did were like top notch, like super well designed and
well thought out.
Yeah, like printed on good cardstock.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I think it even had like an overcoat and everything. Like it had like a little
UV
shine.
coated.
Yeah, the UV
sides,
coating. So it was just like everything was like super well thought out. But I hate to say it, but our town's just like whack.
I think a lot of it too was the placement of it because we were right by the school, so we did good when school was in, but the summer school's out, nobody's there. You know what I mean? And the restaurant that was across the street closed, which I didn't fucking know. You know what I mean? So I had assumed
they
that
closed for like a month or so.
Yeah, and I assumed that they were going to be open all the time, and they weren't. They closed for a fucking month.
Yeah.
So for one full month, nobody even came down that. People did to come to buy my shit or go to the barbershop next door, but be honest, it was like there was nobody there. It was like a little fucking ghost town where I was at.
Yeah.
And do I think if it would have been better if it was on Main Street? Probably not, because there's no parking. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of factors to it.
Yeah. Geographically, it was not right, but everything inside of that damn shop was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was a good time. I mean, I learned a lot. I learned a hell of a lot from that shop, and then, I mean, people ask me to this day, would you ever open a shop again? Probably not. I mean, fuck no.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, not even in the sense of like because of what you experience or anything, but more so just like where people are going now. Like brick and mortar shops, just people don't shop anymore. And like people say like shop local and all that, but if you think about the people that say shop local, ask them if they have a Amazon Prime account.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, they do. And they get their shit, in 2 days.
Yep.
They have a eBay account. They, shop here, shop there, and they deliveries. So it's like, yeah, like it's sad, but like you have to have already had, time and equity in in a business that's like, built from the ground up and just like had its time where people were just like, where you build that following that's solid to like keep it going now. Like to start something now is like super tough.
Yeah, that, and I think with what you got, if you think about boutiques, you have like the hundreds, you have like a couple of these companies that, like, even if you go to like Johnny Cupcakes, he's not even in LA no more. He closed his shop down. You know what I'm saying? So, and now he's just on this tour, which is pretty damn brilliant. He drives from city to city and does these little pop up spots. No pay, no motherfucking rent. And a lot of it now, too, is, you got these people in line following, or you got these people that are waiting in line for, like, Supreme and shit like that. But you have to realize, too, with Supreme, it's a lot of collaborations.
I was just about to say that. I think collaborations is, like, the main thing.
That's the main thing that's keeping these companies
with Supreme,
afloat.
though, like, I feel like people have just... they just eat up anything, dude. I mean, they make a fucking thermos that says Supreme on it, and
I think with Supreme, it was the execution of that, right? Because they're not stupid. Supreme came in after the big Diamond Supplies and all these big companies were already failing. You know what I mean? We're already starting to drop in their sales, and these smaller boutiques were still hanging in there. So when Supreme came in, they said, okay, like, how are we going to be in between these? How are we going to be this big mega? We, sell millions of dollars, but yet still keep this small, like, I don't know how to say it, but keep it exclusive.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they really did. They decided, well, let's take our social media, let's take our following, and let's only release a certain amount of product. Now, what that creates is they're going to have a certain amount of product that people are going to wait in line for and pay this money for. Yeah. But all the little shit in between that is what people eat up, because they know that they're not going to be able, some people are never going to be able to buy that one item in line. You know what I'm saying? So the white t-shirts with just Supreme on them, their keychains, the things like that these people mark up like crazy is what keeps them afloat until the next drop, until the next, hype comes back in. And I think that's a brilliant strategy. But at the end of the day, I can literally take any of the shit that they got and find it online somewhere else. Somebody is selling that shit.
Yeah.
Someone is the
resellers.
Resellers are what's killing the fucking shoe game, and what's killing all the fucking brick and mortars is you got the people who are understanding that now, and they know, okay, these aren't going to come back forever, and I'm just going to sell it for a higher price online. And
that was actually when I first moved to San Diego. Again, I mean, I came from a small town. Like we got a mall in 2006. We were driving to San Diego, Yuma, Palm Springs or whatever to go to get clothes or whatever. We had Mervyn's, Miller's Outpost before.
Miller's, baby.
Yeah, Miller's. And so when I moved out there, I mean, I started seeing all these like consignment shops and, things like that. And it was like crazy. And that's where I started, I got into the sneaker resale. So I started doing that for a while. And it was like super small scale. Like I was just, I just started up an eBay account, and I was just like, buying shoes and selling them, buying shoes and selling them. And I would do some trades here and there. And it was like super slim. Like it was like, I would go, because there was a lot of like, what is it, Salvation Army, and like what's the other one?
Stores.
Yeah, what's the other one in Point Loma? I haven't been there
Salvation
forever.
Salvation Army, and I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, that one. And I would go there, and you would find like good shit. I mean, and it was like clothes, hats, shoes. Shoes was like what I always looked for, but every now and then I would find like some hype stuff, or not even so much hype, but just like something that because vintage was also kind of coming up and becoming a bigger thing. So that was like my way of making money for a while. But again, like
Goodwill.
Yeah, Goodwill. Yeah. Goodwill. Plato's. There was also
Plato's. Yeah,
that's the one that I would go to a lot. Because like you would find like a lot of like the rich white people out there would take all their old polo shit or yeah, like, but like more so like, yeah, like things like that, and people would eat that shit up. I'd buy a shirt for like $2 and sling it for like 40, you know. Um but that was like my, small scale, but I think people have taken it to a whole nother level and gotten greedy. And, I mean, I just said I bought a shirt for $2 and sold it for 40, but the thing is, like, if people, I would do deals, I would do, bulk deals where like now, like, no one cares about none of that. And everything's just like super hype, super overpriced. And it just like, it kills the game. And also too, like, I liked collaborating with people, and like I would meet up with people, and we would like show the things that we picked up, and like trade within. That's how I did like a lot of my trading, was a lot of people that I met in San Diego that would go out to like Kobe's and stuff. And so it was cool, like, within that way. But now it's just so like, oh, like, nah, like, I don't want to work with nobody because they're I don't, they just want to make it all themselves. When I did it, it wasn't so much as just that. It was like the community.
Yeah, nowadays, like, I mean, one of my boys, when the 350s came out for the Yeezys, his wife wanted a pair, and he's like, man, these motherfuckers are expensive. Let me buy my wife a pair. So he went out and talked to one of our homies who got him some bootlegs, and son of a bitch, those things looked almost exactly like the ones he had, down to the paper in the box, down to the box, down to the fucking numbers, like,
Yeah.
the stitching, color, everything, bro.
That's the next big killer.
And that was like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, if you would have told me to pick out the fakes, I couldn't, dude.
Yeah.
That the material felt the same. The boost on the bottom looked exactly the same. I mean,
well, like,
crazy.
when you break the shoes down to what they really are, it's nothing like
special.
Yeah, like, it's nothing like, that can't be found or can't be replicated.
And you think these bootleggers are getting them from the same spot that these people are making them. You know what I mean? Like, they got factories making shoes out there that are gonna make.
Well, like, I mean, ones. That's what, like, a lot of like the Nike outlet and Viejas, like, a lot of them are just B grade shoes. So you'll see super rare, not rare, but higher priced Jordans and things like that, and people are like, what? Like, they're here, but then like you'll see the flaws. You'll see like stitching messed up, or the leather overlapping weird, things like that.
Yeah, sole mounting.
And some of these, fakes are kind of like those, but they just didn't get shipped off somewhere. They just stayed in a factory, and and then people
somebody purchased them.
Yeah, or they people are just putting them to the side and just like and slanging them.
Because you think about that, and that comes out in any industry. You're working with metals, you're working with anything, you're stamping all this shit out. The machines are going to run out at some point. And there's a margin of run out of error, and when they do, and by the time they figure out, oh shit, this shit is fucking up, then you have a batch of 60, 70 or to hundreds that are fucked up. They have to take all those, put those to the side because those ain't shit now, and run some more, or fix the machine, get the machine calibrated back to where it needs to be, and then start running the machine again.
That kind of takes me back to working at Tribal, working with the plotter. Oh, yeah. The little nail. Once that thing gave out, dude, you didn't know unless you looked at it, like, which of course I didn't. If you didn't look at it right. Once you start picking it, and you're like, oh shit, this whole thing didn't even cut. Like, it only cut one half of the T-star, and I was like, fuck, dude. So I gotta replace it, and like.
And that's material lost, and that's the machine fucking up, and the machine running out. You know what I mean? And they're everywhere you do, and every job you do. Like, say with what you do now, right? And we'll get into that right now. But like, even what you do for a living now, the products you guys make, there's a whole line of error. You know what I mean? The way that the plastic is made, the way the material's cut. Those factories have to assume and that there's going to be a percentage of error, and if it's 2 to 3%, that's good. Anything over 7% is shitty. Something's wrong.
Well, it also goes on how much you pay for the quality control.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you would have, like, say, a company like mine, where I work for now. We have our own QC. So as we get our parts in from our vendors, they have to it has to go through an additional QC process.
Oh, you don't do that too?
Oh, I don't do that. No. Yeah, surprising. Man of many hats, but not that yet. Yeah, it has to go through a QC process, and once he approves that, then it gets put on as been ready to be sold or ready to be put into inventory for cartridges and shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right. If you don't pay for that extra money to for the quality service, you're gonna get shitty shit. I mean, and they're gonna sell it to you, for dirt cheap. You think about these fucking Jordans we're wearing. Everybody's hyped up on $200 Jordans are getting made for pennies on the dollar. You know what I mean? Are literally getting shipped out of Japan or China for fucking $2-3 and selling for $200 fucking dollars. You know what I mean? So I learned a long time ago. That's it for my shoe game. What I have in my collection is what I have, and I'm not. Sometimes I get itchy to get back out and buy some shit, and then I see the price, and I'm like, "Fuck that." Yeah. It's just hard for me because I don't know. It's just I think because I don't wear enough of the shit right now. Why am I going to wear? Why am I going to buy another pair of shoes I'm not going to wear? Yeah. It's just, I mean, I got shoes in the room I don't wear now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So why am I gonna do that? Yeah.
And like for me, that's again another perk of this job is I dress super casual. Like I can't wear a tank top, but I can wear like shorts and a shirt.
So what is it you do now? So now that so obviously you went to school for graphic design. That's a very good segue. So I know obviously you went to school for graphic design. Mm-hmm. So what is the company you work for now?
I work for STM Goods and Element Case.
Okay, what do you guys do there?
So STM Goods, we make backpacks and iPad cases, and Element Case is all cell phone cases.
And what do you do there?
I'm the junior graphic designer.
Oh, nice. So you take care of all like flyers or pictures that get taken, and you
all the e-blasts and everything. I create all the layouts for that, and then what I've been doing more recently is just a lot of image manipulation, image cleanup and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So you guys do a lot of. So you guys are more into the everyday person carries. So the everyday cases, the everyday backpacks. Are these backpacks like survival style backpacks, or are they just like everyday laptop cases?
Yeah, it's all everyday stuff. Our big market is like education. So it's more so like in that realm. I mean, they do have their own features that are like, cool as far as like durability and all that, but mostly it's not like not saying they can't be used outdoor, but it's more so for like kids and like, college students, people like working, office jobs and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So it's the everyday use. Mm-hmm. That's good. And that's in Dago, right?
Yeah, in Poway.
Nice. So what's the plan for Isaac later? What is the if you could say that you were going to do something like, my plan later is to, obviously you're working in what obviously you got a job doing graphic design for what you went to school with, but what's in the future? Are you planning to do anything else, create your own thing, or what do you?
I mean, right now, if I could give a solid answer, like I probably wouldn't create my own thing, not anytime soon. But what I've kind of recently been looking into and just thinking about is getting into teaching graphic design. I've worked with a lot of people. I worked with like some photographers and stuff, and I kind of get like a rise out of like helping people. People be like, hey, like I got this image, I'm having this issue, like, what should I do? And like I'll show them the process, like, oh, you want to do this, you want to do that, bring this up, bring this down, blah blah blah. Like, all right, oh, for sure, cool, thanks, man. Like I'm like, damn, like that was cool, like I like that.
Now, are you doing a lot of this image, doing all this in Photoshop? Or are you doing Lightroom or?
No Lightroom. I've actually have never used Lightroom. I don't even know what it's about.
Lightroom's pretty good.
Yeah, I usually my work is all in Photoshop. Yeah.
So you don't really touch Illustrator or anything like that? Not as much?
Not as much. I do use it. I mean, InDesign and Photoshop is probably like my main thing. Like all my like print layouts is all in InDesign. Um, all like the image cleanup and all that is all Photoshop.
Now, are you in Photoshop when you say your image stuff? Are you using a lot of stock images, or are you using images you guys purchased or you guys took on your own?
It's depending if we're doing like a lifestyle, like I'll grab a Shutterstock image, or if I need like a texture, or
And you guys have an account with them?
we do, which is awesome.
Yeah,
And it's
it
funny, I always download pictures, and for like the first like 6 months that I was there, I thought we only had 350 downloads for the year. Those 350 downloads a month.
Oh, so you were
So
like,
I was like,
I
oh,
can do all
homie.
kinds of shit.
I was being all like modest, and I was like, oh, I'll just get this one. Like, I need that one, but I think I can make it work with this one. And then once they told me, like, dude, there's 350 a month, I was like, oh, hell no, I'm downloading all this shit, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's definitely a big help. But we do have an in-house photographer, so if he does photo shoots or if he does product shots, I clean all those up.
Oh, nice. And you guys shooting all raw stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, that's good, dude. Because, I mean, and it would be nice to actually sit down one day. Maybe we can do a podcast on just that. Maybe do like a video one where we can, because, I mean, to what you're doing right now is like a big deal when it comes to social media marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like huge
right
now when it comes to that. Like, people pay a lot of money for that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like not a lot of people that even know where to go to get that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of companies out there that are selling that shit for lots of money. Like, you want to rebrand? Do you want to go from this level, or we start at $15,000 to upwards to $200,000 for that shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take someone like Gary V. Like that dude that's what he does. You know what I mean? He's social media marketing. You know what I mean? And he charges a lot of money for shit.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, he has something to show, though, right? Like, that's the whole thing, is being able to build up your social media or your thing. You create a social media on your own, like some kind of Facebook or Instagram. You post your own pictures, your own style, your own things, and you grow that. So when you do decide to do something on your own, you can be like, look, this is my social media. Mm-hmm. I have X amount of followers, X amount of turnover rate. Why would you not hire me? This is what we do. This is what we've done for our clients. This is the turnover rate. This is the click-through rate we're getting. This is the, this is the kind of work we do, and that's what builds, and that's what, these people are looking for. Because nowadays, man, it's like, who's putting out flyers? Which sucks, because you talked about when I had my shop, I had flyers that I was putting out. We were still doing the grind, the everyday grind, And nowadays, people don't even, you could do it from your phone. Yeah. There's apps that you can do do on your fucking phone and send out flyers just via that. Just everybody on your contact list. Boom, here's a flyer. It's totally changed the way that we view stuff, And you're right, brick and mortar and, creating a website and all that is where it's at. And I don't know what that looks like in the future, but, I mean, I really would like to be a part of it because, I mean, thing is...
You're always ahead of the game, so I don't know.
Man, not right now, man. Not right now. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, like, what the fuck can I do to get something going on the side to where I can create something, But nothing's come to mind. Nothing's hit yet. So. Yeah. I don't know.
That or you have some gold mine that you don't even know going on.
Yeah, probably. That's how it usually is. And then I end up seeing it later on fucking Pinterest or some shit. And I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Shark Tank.
Right. I've been doing that for 10 years. What the hell? Yeah. But you know what, dude? I just wanted to say, like getting you on here, dude, I really appreciate you. You know what I mean? I really think that the person you've grown into, to be honest, it's like when I had my shop and I wanted to take vacation, you were the only dude that I would have, come into the shop and, and run the shop for me. And, and we all seen, even Rue and we all seen potential in you. You know what I mean? We still do, you know what I'm saying? And we wouldn't have given you or or putting a word out for you to go, to get that internship at Tribal if we didn't believe in you. You know what I'm saying? And believe in your talent and the person you are. And, by you being able to help out at the shop and, and do the things you've done. I've always considered you like a brother, you know what I mean? And, I'm really proud of what you've become, you know what I mean? Because it takes a lot to know that we're not doing what we should be doing or potentially could be doing, and to actually see that. And I think for you, I'm proud because you actually seen that. You've seen that in yourself. You recognize that you could do better. You recognize that that you do have a future and you could make a future for yourself. And look, now with your son and with your wife and the road you're on now, you are making leadway in this world, and you're going to provide for them. And anything you do by what you're doing now, providing for your family is there's nothing anybody can do to take that from you, And me and you are somewhat in the same boat as far as living in the Valley and working in San Diego and sacrificing our time and our sleep, that type of shit to be able to provide for our family, you know what I mean? And to see you grow from a kid who would just come in and talk shit to a man
coming in on my Blazer,
coming in and bumping on your Blazer, you know what I mean?
Starting with the 2x4.
Yeah, hitting the starter. You've come a long way, man, and, and I'm really proud of you, man. And you know what I mean. And if you ever need anything from me, you just need to ask. You know what I'm saying? I got your back no matter what. And I love you, man. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
You too, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Anytime. We need to do this again, and we need to, like I said, I really want to think about doing. Maybe me and you will talk more about the soft lime, but I want to get into more of videoing for Facebook. For YouTube on some stuff and doing all that. But for now, you got anything you want to plug? You want to plug the company you work for, your social media?
Yeah. So the backpack company is STM Goods. That's at STM Goods on Instagram. On Facebook, I believe it's just STM Goods. Same. As well as the Element Case. It's at Element Case on Instagram and same on Facebook.
Yeah, go check him out. He actually got he brought over some iPhone Case X's here that I got to distribute out to a couple people, but they really look dope, dude. Really nice cases. Go check them out. What's your Instagram? So people can check out your work.
My Instagram is Isaac R. Vargas.
Isaac R. Vargas. And you have some of your work up there?
No.
Soon to be.
Yeah. I have an art page.
Yeah, what's your art page? Because I don't want people going just to check you out, your selfies and shit. I don't want people just to go look at.
Oh yeah, that was one thing you used to always get on me about.
Yeah, dude, all these damn selfies you had.
My art page is IRV_art.
IRV_art. So all that, I'll have him leave me everything that he just said, and that'll all be in the show notes. But you guys can go check him out. Check out his company. They're really doing some good shit. It's a locally based company in San Diego. Let's support local, you know what I mean, and let's keep them going. Keep Isaac here working, you know what I mean? Sure. Keep providing for his family. Yeah. You know how that goes. So I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for coming on, man. Really
appreciate you, man.
So thank everybody for listening to 3820 Podcast. I'm Rich G.
Isaac Vargas.
There we go, baby. We're out.
Things that I observe, hey yo, things that I observe when I smoke herb and drink a lot of drink. See a girl, I miss the lover, but yeah, Shabba ranks. Gorgeous girls all in my face, and y'all be tripping ankle brace. I ain't trying to hate, but what these wet panties insinuate. Damn, tons of safe sex and empty beer cans. Promiscuous hoes on their knees like Lieutenant Dan. My girl is a ball player, yours is Greg Oster tag. Sending naked pics to my phone while I'm in the lab. Speaking of which, I would like a peach pleasure from Jamba Juice. I get down on beer pong if y'all little fuckers know the rules. No restack wax or air balls, just to name a few. And how you finna reach the top if y'all ain't got the proper tools? Like crew, bitch, slide it up and fucking smoke it. Yeah, you used to be this, now you're old and all corroded. So go ahead and pass the mic if y'all faggots keep on choking. Nah, I mean, easy peasy, hocus pocus, inexpensive locomotives. That's how everybody know it's why you hanging out at Denny's and your girlfriend smell like donuts. Never seen a clown, well go look in the mirror. Say you like to listen while this shit right here is my career. What the fuck is up, man? This party isn't over. I got people throwing up and I got more hoes coming over. And I give